I'm David Moore.
Hello, my name is Wayne Boone.
Hi, I'm Sean Manning, and welcome to the American Carp Society.
Hi, today we're on Town Lake and we're going to be showing you a typical session. Dave and myself are going to be fishing. We've got all the kit set out and we're going to be taking you through the logical steps of a typical carp session here on Town Lake.
Cover some of the basics and some of the tools that we use to make fishing more efficient.
I think during the next hour and a half, hopefully you'll get a good insight into what a typical carp session is all about, the type of equipment we use, and I'd say let's get on with it.
Let's go.
Okay, mate.
Let's start off here, Wayne. Why don't you explain real quick how the reels work?
Okay. Well, what we've got here is a big pit bait running reels. Bait runner basically means that we have an extra feature on the reel that now enables the spool to free line it should the carp picks up and runs off with the bait.
Go ahead
And if I flick this switch here, Dave will show you, we've got a free running reel. If a carp picks the bait up and runs off with the bait, obviously you're not going to get your rods dragged in, plus you can hear the alarm going off there. To engage, you just flick forward and then you've got a regular reel. Alternatively, one crank of the reel handle, also it disengages. You also have a separate drag from your front one for your regular reel on the back here, and this again controls the tension on the free spool.
Okay, so it has a rear drag and a front drag.
That's right, yes. Okay. Yeah. The front drag just controls the reel in its regular mode.
Right. So for the folks that aren't used to carp fishing, this would just be a regular type spinning. It's been modified for carp fishing, but this would just be a basic spinning type setup, other than the reel's a little bit different.
Yep, we got the bait, just a basic spinning reel plus the bait running feature, really. Yeah. We got also, obviously looking a bit further down here, we got these big old poles.
Yeah.
These are
they've 12-foot rods have kind of become the standard, or 13 for if you're really trying to get some more distance.
Yep. It enables you to cast the distance, and also to control. You've got better control of the carp upon landing them. Bringing them into the bank to the net.
This works kind of like a big shock absorber.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on here, this is just what people refer to as a rod pod. There's all kinds of different types of rod pods. This is one you probably use for bigger waters, bigger rods, but you don't have to have one like this. And then you just have your alarms. What happens is the line sits on a roller on these, and when the roller turns, it sets off the sensitivity switch or the sensor on that, and lets you know when you have a fish on. Okay, this is what we were referring to as a hanger. As you can see, this just hangs on the line, and as that pulls down, it will set off the alarm. This just has two little tension on there that'll release from the line very easily when you pick the rod up when you have a fish on. Sometimes this part, instead of being loose like this, will be an arm, an extension arm, is solid, and that's referred to as a swinger instead of a hanger.
Also on this one, we've got a steel counterbalance. You can pull this out down here. If you're in windy conditions, obviously the wind won't pull this up and down quite as easy, so you get a lot less false bite indications from this. Also another tension adjuster here on the swinger. It's a good piece of kit.
But the purpose of that is to keep tension on the line, because if the fish picks up the bait and swims back towards you, that hanger or swinger will pull the line down.
So it's weighted.
And set off the alarm. And a lot of people, I don't really need that. Well, you might not 9 times out of 10, but that one time when you get the big one on there.
Yeah. You might hear people refer to it as a drop back.
Yeah.
All it means is that weight has been, the line's gone slack because the fish has brought the bait towards the rod. So the weight on the hanger brings the line down. That's a drop, it drops back. Yeah. Okay, well, we've shown you the two different types of pods. Again, as we stated, there's many on the market. Over here, we've got a simple bank stick arrangement. It's got an alarm and a swinger attached to it, fully adjustable, height-wise. And again, your rod just rests through here. I mean, we'll show you right now. can't beat it. It's very simple. Just a bank stick, alarm and a swinger. You could have a hanger here too. You don't need very expensive equipment. Simple here.
Okay, here's the 3 different components that make up the bank stick arrangement that Wayne was talking about. You just have your alarm, just a bank stick, just goes straight in the ground, and you just have a swinger that fits in between those two. These are just standard threads. It all fits together very easily. What we're going to do is go over a few basic rigs to show you here, and the first one that we have is what we call the method rig. It's very simple, extremely effective, and we're going to show you how to mix up the method mix in a little bit. Breadcrumbs, seeds, things. And then what you use that for is to track the fish in so they actually find the hook bait. Another rig that we're going to show you here is very good for long distance, and it's an inline lead. And then we're going to show you that rig. Once again, very simple. You can make adjustments and set it up the way you want according to your fishing. You know, if you're for bigger fish, we're going to show you here a big bait that's going to typically get bigger fish. You can put smaller baits on it. It's a very simple rig and once again very effective. The next rig that we're going to show you is what we call, it has a safety clip on it, and the lead will release if it becomes tangled up when the fish pulls on it. And we'll show you that in just a second. We're also going to show you a pop-up type rig. This is a very effective rig, especially when you're just fishing a single bait by itself. Okay, what happens is if this lead becomes tangled up in rocks that you're fishing with, when the fish pulls on it, the fish pulls, that lead's going to release, but you're still going to be able to land the fish.
Okay, what we're going to do now is take a look at some various rigs that we use in different situations, and David here is going to explain to us the different types of hook lengths, the different materials that are used, and the components of the rig. So Dave, if you can guide us through this, there's a number of different colorful looking things on here. Just take us through them if you can.
Okay, the first one that we're going to start with here is just your basic maize on the hair. This is just regular nylon.
Okay.
We have a swivel here, probably one that's bigger than I would normally use, just so people can get an idea of what we have here. Once again, this is very simple but yet very effective rig.
You've got a running bead there, I see.
Right, we have a rubber bead right here. That's just to protect the knot when you're casting out, so this lead's not banging around, weakening that.
Gotcha.
Then we just have, even though this lead's colored, it's just a regular bass casting type sinker.
Okay.
That slides up and down your main line.
And this obviously allows a free running situation with the fish.
Right.
Then.
When the fish picks up this bait,
yeah,
it's just going to run with it. That lead's going to stay put.
I see.
It shouldn't move much
And
at
pull
all.
your line through the lead then.
Right.
Excellent. What about this next one we have here?
Well, this one we just something different. Actually, this one's very similar, except we're using a boilie for bait there. Once again, stiff rig material. I believe that may be fluorocarbon right there.
Right.
This is a safety rig right here. That this one in particular is one that Corda does, the Corda lead. And if this gets trapped in weed or silt or rocks, if the fish pulls on that, this is all going to come apart, release the lead. You're still going to be able to land the fish.
I can see, because you have this clip section here that you've got the rubber tail there,
Let's
and it
just
pulls
see.
apart, doesn't it?
Well, if it's wet.
There you go.
It'll pull apart.
Okay.
And then the lead
Slides off the
will
edge.
slide off just like that.
Great. Obviously, also helpful in a weedy situation too.
Absolutely. That's where you'd want to use this as in a weedy
Okay.
type situation. Very fish safe.
Okay.
We're going to, this time and when we get into more detail, we're definitely going to focus on fish friendly, safe
fish friendly
type
rigs. Okay.
We want people, a lot of people would have this lead attached directly to the swivel somehow.
I see.
And that's a death rig.
Right.
The main line breaks.
Breaks, the fish is going to be
that
dragging
fish
it
is
around.
going to get tethered. That's a dead fish,
Gotcha.
most likely.
Gotcha. Now, what about this rig here? I see you've got 4 pieces that looks like maize there, but some kind of plastic.
Presentation purposes, we just used fake plastic maize that does float. It does pop up. And this is what we refer to as a D rig.
Okay.
Instead of the hair that
Mhm.
the bait's attached to, there's a small little metal loop right there that goes back on the nylon.
It allows this to move then, doesn't it? Over the whole.
Right. Gives it a
whole
little
thing.
more freedom, a little more of a natural type presentation.
Okay.
Possibly.
And then so you've got a large weight there. That's to obviously pin it to the bed of the lake.
Right. This is going to pop up, and if the hook's not heavy enough to pin that down on the lake bed,
Right.
this will be.
Okay.
And you need to, when you use this type of rig, you need to either in the edge of the water where you're fishing, or get some type of bucket of water or something to test these before you actually cast them out to fish with them.
Just check it out, see what the presentation is like in the water then.
Absolutely.
Okay. What about this rig here then? We've got another, it's obviously another boilie here, and looks like we've got 2 different types of material on this hook length. How does this work?
Well, this is a special material that's just been developed in the last couple of years. This is actual just regular braid that they've coated with plastic.
I see.
And it's what it does is it gives you the best of both worlds, because the braid's very supple, moves around in a very natural presentation.
And this is stiffer here, isn't it?
This is stiff, so that's going to, problem with this, the downside is, if you use all of that, you have problems with tangles.
Obviously, yeah, with tangles.
So you're getting the best of both worlds with this type of setup. Once again, that pop-up's going to sit up 2 or 3 inches above this.
It's like that,
going to pin it to the bottom. That's right.
Okay, so this is able to move freely then in the water when the fish move and you've got debris on the bottom of the lake moving around. This can move naturally, yet this will stop you from tangling when you cast out.
Exactly, and you know you can adjust this lead. You can move it down further. For instance, if you had 4 or 5 inches of weed, you may want to pop that up 6 inches where it's sitting, just right above the weed.
Okay.
Or if you're in a very silty area, this works very well.
Okay.
Your lead may sink down 2 or 3 inches, but this is going to sit right on the bottom.
Above the silt.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. What about this one here? It's an interesting looking thing. This looks like bread, but obviously it's not. It's some kind of plastic material.
Artificial bread.
Artificial bread.
I haven't fished with that yet, but that looks really interesting.
Okay.
We had an area that had a lot of carp that people feed the ducks. That could just be absolutely killer.
Okay, so see, you've got this actually here. You've got this on some fluorocarbon and on a hair too.
Once again, this is the same
situation.
Safety rig.
Safety
right
clip.
there.
Okay. What is this stuff that we've got here then? This is obviously, this is not mono. There's something else here. What's
well,
it?
This is what we refer to as tubing.
Okay.
And that serves a couple purposes. One is it protects the main line, because a lot of times you'll get most of the abrasions right through here where the lead is, and the fish are swimming into different, rocks, logs, what.
Okay, on the bottom of the lake.
The other thing this does is it actually protects the fish.
Okay.
If you think about it, a fish is pulling away from you. This is going to run along the side of the fish in a lot of cases. He's not going to be backing up away from you. He's swimming away.
Exactly.
So it's just another fish.
Stop the mono from potentially cutting into the side or something like that.
Popping off scales, or cutting into the fins.
Right. Excellent. So lots of rigs that we have
just,
here, and
it's
a
kind
few
of
of them.
scratching the surface here.
Okay.
Lots of things to do with this.
Great.
One of the things that I learned when I first got into carp fishing, Wayne, that was just a totally new concept to me was the hair rig. Because here in the States, we'd always just put bait on the hook and chuck it out. But with carp, that doesn't really work all that well at times.
I think the actual placement of the bait on the hair will, I don't think I'm exaggerating too much, but will increase your take rate by 10 times. I really, I've tried it myself.
Because what's happening is that carp's going in and he's grabbing that bait, just totally unaware that there's a hook there. He's going to suck that bait in, and if he goes to mess with it and blow it out, that hook's just going to nail him.
99% of the time in the bottom lip.
Right. When that hook's covered up with the bait, and that can still work. It just depends on your baits, your techniques. If that bait's totally covered up, it's going to work, and I've heard this referred to before by Brian Nordberg as the lollipop effect. Carp's going to pull that bait in, and then when he blows it out, there's nothing to prick it, and he just blows it right back out and goes on his way.
Often when you see a carp, you'll pull a bait in, spit it out, pull it in, put it, and then take it.
Right.
You just have it a taste.
Right. Well, a carp doesn't have hands to pick something up and look at it and check it out, because all he has is his mouth.
Taste.
Real quick, I want to touch on treble hooks. People go, why don't you use treble hooks? Well, here's why. I don't like them. I mean, just bottom line, if you want to use them, that's your call. You can use them if you want. But the thing that bothers me the most is if that fish picks up that bait, you've got 2 hooks there. It can literally pin his mouth shut,
Close, yep,
and that fish is going to starve. And, you know, okay, once again, there's millions of them out there. Still, though, that's a waste. And that comes back to the whole philosophy on just being a good steward of your environment.
I just don't think you're going to get any more hookups with a treble than a single.
Right.
So
Good point.
no need for it.
We're just going to type a real simple hair rig here and go through the mechanics on how the whole thing works. It's very easy to do. First of all, we've pulled off some of the plastic coating off of this braid. We're just going to take the braid itself, tie an overhand knot so we end up with a loop on the end, because that's what's going to hold the bait on. You don't really have to worry about the size of that too much. We have the loop in the other end. We want to run the top end of the hook length through the back of the eye, just like so. Now, if we're going to use, for instance, this boilie, one thing we may want to do is kind of have an idea of how much of that we want to have there.
Okay.
You know, bigger baits, you obviously need more. All right, so you're going to take in these two fingers, the hair and the hook. What you want to do is you want to pay very close attention to which way the hook is bent around and where the gap is, because different brands go different ways. This particular one goes here, and the gap is on the top side. So what we want to do is we want to start off on the bottom, going away from the gap, start wrapping down the shank of the hook. Okay.
So
So we do 6-7 wraps.
Okay.
Hold that tight. This is why they call this the no knot knot or knotless knot. There's actually no knot there. If you remember, we originally went through the back of the eye of the hook. We're going to go through there again.
Really cool.
And that's it right there. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the swivel on. And this is another part that's going to come into question for each individual angler and their situations. How long do you want to make this? In this case, let's just make one average length. You can use any knot you choose on this. I just myself prefer the polymer. It's easy, strong. Some people may prefer the grinner. And that's it. Right there. Now, you know, there's just so many different things that we could do with this. You know, we could fish a pop-up, we could break this part, you know, so the bait would sit like so.
So pop-up is a buoyant bait.
Right. Even the maize, we could put plastic maize on there. There's a lot of different variations you can go from a simple rig just like this.
Okay.
There's usually no need to get fancy. You just need to match it to your situation.
So Dave, how do we get this boilie on the hair?
Well, we're going to use this really great little tool called a baiting needle. As you notice, the boilie has already been thread on. And there's a little barb there that you catch the loop that we tied originally, the first knot that we did.
Okay.
Then you just slowly and carefully thread that on like that. And then that's on what we refer to as the hair. You take your bait stops, which we mentioned earlier, and this is where they come into use. Thread it through the loop. You want to push that bait back down against that bait stop so it sits like that. And just once again take some clippers.
They're like little barbel dumbbells. That's what I'm trying
Yeah,
to get at.
and it holds the loop. That's it right there. You know, nothing fancy. On this, we're going to assume the lake bed would be right here, and this would be your presentation with a pop-up, your hook, normal hair rig, weighted down right here. Very effective rig. Okay, once again, we're going to use mono stiff rig material. Do a regular hair rig type setup. Want to make sure you have a hook that has a big enough eye for this to work. Not going to bother to tie a loop in it this time. We're just going to leave a tag in down there. Go to your normal wraps. Back through the eye of the hook. Okay, so we have the normal hair rig. You can take this down as far as you'd like, but what we're going to do this time is use a ring for a different type of presentation. That'll look like that. There's a different variation that looks like that. Just whatever you prefer. I'm going to slide this over the tag end. I'm going to take this tag end back through the eye of the hook one more time. It's going to be a tight fit. What we want to do, have that ring there, and you're just going to take a lighter, trim a little bit of that off. You're going to take a lighter, melt that down, glob it up. That's what's going to cause that to stay on the hook. And you'll take a piece of braid or dental floss, run through your baits, and tie it to that. This works really good for a pop-up. Tying a pop-up to that gives you a great presentation.
Okay, what I want to show you here is some method mix that we've actually prepared. I'll show you exactly what goes in it and the preparation of it all, but right now I'd like to show you how we mould it around the method cage. Here's a method cage, the method mix I just showed. Basically all we're doing is kind of like a pack bait. We're going to mould this around here. Now, obviously the harder you squeeze this, the longer it's going to take to break down once it hits the water. But let me just get it into a neat shape here, some sort of castable shape, and pretty much that's what it looks like when it's all done. Quite often what we like to do is put the hook inside the method mix there, and that enables you, that actually almost guarantees that you're not going to get your hook tangled in some weed on the bottom. It just get a nice presentable package. Once this method mix starts to break down off of the cage, you've got a nice chum, if you like, around your hook bait, an attractant for the fish.
Here's the method ball that Wayne just put together, and you can see he tucked the hook in there very neatly. And when you cast this out, you're not going to typically be able to get a great distance, but you just kind of want to ease it out there, lob it out, let the rod do the work, and we'll show you how to do that. Okay. Once you cast out there, you want to let your line so it sinks straight down. You want to let your line come off a little bit, and then once you have it tight, We're going to feed this back. We're going to show you how we set it up on the rod pod just as if we were out fishing. Okay, and the last thing you want to do is flip on the bait runner. Ready to go. This is a great tool when you're out fishing to use, and it's referred to as a spod. As you notice, it has holes. This particular one has holes in it that'll drain out. It looks like a rocket. It's an empty cavity here, and you'll fill that up with particles, boilies, pellets, whatever you want to use to attract fish. This is very efficient to cast out, and it does fly like a rocket. Once it hits in the water, it'll hit nose first. Well, this nose has some buoyancy to it. It'll go down, it'll actually turn around and dump the payload out, whatever you have that you're casting out. You do need a proper rod for that, for this big a spod though, what they refer to as a spod rod. That's a heavier test curve rod made for this type of casting. What we have here is just some pigeon feed. Great bunch of particles to bait up with that are highly attractive. Here we just have your basic CSL pellets. What's very attractive too. A little bit of this goes a long ways. And then here we just have your maize that's just been soaking in molasses, boiled, soaked and boiled to be used as hook bait or to bait up with. And this is just, you just fill this up like so, or if you don't mind getting your hands dirty, just dump it in there. You don't want to fill it up too much, but about like that.
What you can do to stop the corn or whatever particles you have in the spod falling out, you can put a piece of PVA nugget. It's a dissolvable nugget. It's all you do, just tuck it in there. But I like to put a couple of them in, and it just keeps, it grabs against the side and stops the corn or the pellets falling out on flight. Okay, now what we're going to do is just cast this out to the general vicinity of where David put the method feeder out. But just, again, you'll notice a nice big pit reel for distance casting. There's no bait running feature on this one. Don't really need it, obviously, with the spodding. But it definitely, the larger spool definitely helps with the ease of cast and the distance. So here we go. I'm feathering it down, and that's just where Dave put the method feeder. You see it turns up, you got the red side up. That means all the feed that's in there is now falling out, and now upon the retrieve, it's easy. On this particular spot, you notice the big holes in there, and the water's just rushing right through it, you can see. No resistance at all on the retrieve, and a fast one again because of the large spool on the reel. Okay, Dave's going to cast this marker float setup out in a minute. Let's just show you what's going on. I'd just like to show you the reel, and you'll notice it's spooled up with braid. The reason we do that is because braid has got no give at all, and when you drag this marker float across the bottom, it will transmit the feeling of whatever's on there, whether it's silt, pebbles, gravel, whatever, drop-offs, a little raised shelf. You'll feel everything, every single bump, nook and cranny coming through there. It's just a good communicator. It'll help you put a lot more fish on the bank.
Okay, this is a marker float rod, and this is the reel that Wayne was explaining. If you notice, this particular rod right here has a marker, and what you can do, and we're going to show you in a second, is count off a foot at a time. So this, I've referred to this a few times as a poor man's depth finder, because it tells you how deep the water is. It can tell you how or what type of structure you're fishing on, gravel, sand, silt, you know, things you want to avoid and things you want to look for. This rod can definitely put more fish on the bank for you. Okay, we just have a float here, and there's several different types of these, and you want something that's very buoyant. This particular one pops up very well. You notice the run ring on here, so the line slides through very easily, and this also has a cork over the knot, and that's just to protect the knot, because you're really putting a lot of pressure and stress on that point when you're casting this out and trying to reach a long distance. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cast this out there about 50, 60 yards and see, you know, what type of structure is in front of us and see where we want to place our hook baits and put some feed for the fish. You want to be sure and let the lead hit the bottom. The lead's got to be heavy enough to get that buoyant marker float down. And then you're going to tighten up and you're going to just slowly pull in. You just want to take your time on this, real slow. Just moving the rod tip. Like Wayne mentioned, that braid is going to give you a lot of accuracy and sensitivity on what the bottom's like. And we're pulling this in really slow, and you're seeing the tip, it'll knock just a little bit. Here you're going to see we're on a little bit more gravel, because see how that ends of the rod tip's just knocking? And then it'll actually catch. So we've hit a gravel patch out there. It's kind of tough to do this in slow motion. Okay. What we've done is I've cast it out again. And we're going to count it, just show you it's very simple how you tell how deep the water is out there. You're going to pull till you feel the tension on the bottom, pull the slack out. And we have a very silty bottom out there. So okay. What you're going to do is loosen off the drag. And you're going to count a foot at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And right
6,
now, Dave, the float's
7,
rising to the top as you're pulling that
8,
off, right?
9, 10. Yep. Okay, we've counted off 10 feet. We still don't see the floats. We know it's over 10 feet deep out there. But like Wayne said, that's what we're doing, is we're trying to find out how deep the water is. 10. Okay, so what we found out right there, we counted off 17 feet. And you see the marker floats up out there. So just out, I don't know, maybe 30, 35 yards, not quite 40, 17 feet deep. And what we're gonna do when we show up at a peg is we're gonna fan that across. And you may even wanna have a notepad and write down your depths, your features on the bottom, so you know what it's like, and you're gonna map it out. That can be one of the most important things you do to find the fish, because you're going to find shelves, you're going to find where you have a flat bottom and then it starts to come up, you know, and just the areas, whatever time of year it is and where the fish are feeding, that's where you want to have your bait. And this is going to tell you a lot about what's out in front of you, so you can take advantage of that and not just show up and blindly cast out and you just don't know. One thing we get a lot of questions about is PVA nuggets and what their uses are. And there's actually 2 or 3, and they're, once again, something else you just keep in your tackle box to help you fish more accurately, more efficiently. But one is you cover your hook with this, so if you're fishing in weed or you're making a long cast and you just want to protect your hook point, you just simply cover your hook with this. Another thing that works very well if you're fishing, say 100 yards or a long ways out where you're going to use a throwing stick, which Wayne's going to go over in a minute, is you put this on your hook, and once you cast out, this is going to release because it's water soluble. It's going to pop up to the top of the water, so you're going to know exactly where your hook bait's at. You can take a throwing stick, you can take a catapult. Once again, the things that Wayne's going to go over, and where this pops up, you know right directly below that's where your hook bait is, and you can put some free offerings around it to attract the fish in, get them feeding really aggressive, so they'll take your hook bait. Talking about using PVA nuggets, here's one advantage, is just to cover up the hook. You may want to lick that real quick because it'll stick together better. Just go all the way around the hook and barely pull it down just a little bit, and that'll hold right there. You're ready to cast out. And that's going to show you exactly where your hook bait's placed.
Okay, you've seen Dave throw the marker float out. We've now pinpointed a nice gravel patch in the middle of a silt area. It's not too far, it's only about 25 yards out, but this kind of suits us right now. So what we're going to do is bait up around that area, and there's a couple of methods here, one with the catapult and another with the throwing stick. We're going to show you exactly how we get the bait out to the area that we want to chum. Here's a ball we made out of the method mix you saw earlier. So I'm just going to put it in the pouch and we're going to fire it out. Just like that. And you can fire, I like to use this for particles, method balls. I can even put some boilies in here. I'm going to put 3 in here and I'm just going to fire it out here. We haven't got a lot of distance, so there we go, 3, plop. Overshot a little bit, but we'll bring them in later. Okay, we're going to use some pellets here. Again, there's not too many. This will scatter over, probably over a 6-7 feet circle. You can see that we have the particles in there. I'm just going to turn, and you get the hang of this pretty quick. And you can spread, you see it's about a 6 or a 7 foot circle around the marker float. I'm going to do the same with some corn. Just give them a little bit of a variance for feeding on. Here's the corn. Again, this is a wet. It's been soaked and boiled, so it's perfectly safe for the carp. We don't want to overfill it. Dry hands, because we've got. And again, we're going to fire this out. I'll do it from down here. You can see that gives you a lovely spread all around where you marker, around the feature that we found with the marker float. And there's a ball we made from the method mix. There we go. Beautiful. And that breaks, as soon as it hits the water it breaks and just falls to the bottom. We've probably got about 9 feet of water there where the marker is, and it's on a lovely gravel bed and surrounded by silt. Another way of putting the boilies out is something called a throwing stick, and I'll show this. Dave, there's a great example of Dave and Sean using this. Basically all you're doing is putting the boilie in the throwing stick here, and I'm going to chuck this one out. It'll be way past the marker, but you'll get an idea. And with a little bit of practice you can get real accurate with this.
Here's like Wayne was talking about, something we've used worked really well in fishing at range. And these will go about 100 yards. Takes a little bit of getting used to it, but once you do, it's amazing how far you can throw those things.
Okay, we've gone through all the preparation, the bait's out, the chums area, we've found the area to fish, lines are in, and now it's just a matter of waiting for the traps to be sprung. What do you think, Dave?
Waiting on that scream and run. Yeah. It's time to kick back and relax.
And enjoy the surroundings. That's what fishing's all about. Good luck to you.
Beautiful day out here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back on Town Lake in Austin again. Wayne and I got here early on today. We took a marker rod. We're fishing a swim we haven't fished before, so we really don't know much about this swim other than what we found out from the marker rod. We've got an 18-foot channel out there, 6-foot ledge on the edge of the island, and a graduation of this particular part of the headland that goes from about a foot down to 10 foot, going down to 18 foot in the channel, coming up to 6 the other side of the island. We spotted out a load of free offerings. We've got some boilies out there. We've placed our baits in various different areas here, so we're going to give it a shot, cross our fingers, and see if we can pick up some fish. The wind has been changing direction all day, as well as the pressure, so really don't know how this is going to affect the fish. Don't feel great about it, but we'll see what we can do, see if we can pick something up. This is the island that I was describing earlier on. I've got baits to the left and on the head of the island. Wayne's got some baits to the right of the island. It looks very, very carpy, so we spotted some seed out there, put some boilies out there. We'll see what we can't pick up. We've got a greedy pig rig on this particular rod. Got 2 bottom baits and one of the dynamite pop-ups. We're going to cast this out off the edge of the island, see if we can catch a fish.
of the town lake fish on. We deployed a bunch of the methods we went over in the DVD earlier. Carp bait. Basically got this. Give me a second. It's a buff, I think. Very tough. We've got a very strong wind. Oh, it's a carp. It's a common. It's a babby. It's probably mid-teens. What we'll be doing, we'll be bringing the fish to the net as opposed to trying to scoop. Yep, and we don't lift by the pole. Okay, so you notice we're not lifting the fish in the net by the pole, so it'll break. What we'll be doing for safety of the fish, we're scooping the net, just grabbing it. No, I'm picking it up this way. Then we'll walk it over to the mat. Okay, we've got a nice soft mat here with fish is safe, no flapping about, we've got nice surroundings, no way the fish can get damaged. We'll just take the hook out here and remove the net, and we're getting weighed. Probably this fish it might get 14, 15 pounds. I'll just carefully remove this hook. All right, and that's what we got them on. 2 pieces of corn and a fake piece for pop up in the middle. I've just got a little bit of water here. I'm going to keep him damp. Don't want him to dry out. Here's the male. You can see all the tubules on the head. If you can get in close there. There's them little dots and lines. We're not far off spawn here. Where are we? The end of March. I've just got some Clinique. I've got just where the hook hold was. I'm just going to squirt a little bit in there. It's an antifungal, antibacterial thing. And just to keep him nice, and he's cooperating very nicely. Gorgeous. This sling also acts as a great carrier. Cover up, the Velcro on either side. No chance of the fish falling out as you're carrying back to the water. It's solid. There we go. Well, head first here. Here's the guy. And there he goes. Sweet. That's a good return. Happy fish. Happy angler. Okay, here we go. Got to go under Sean's rods here. Got a nice mid-teen carp again. This was on the method. Ready? This is huge. I'm going to bring him over to the net again. He's tired now. We've got him. Another town lake fish in the net. Okay, we just got the second town lake fish of the day. Lovely common, gorgeous yellow, golden yellow colours. Again, this hair rig, so be careful with the line, has done its job right in the bottom lip. I would say 99.9% of the time we get hooked in the bottom lip using this rig. I'll just get him off the net here. Again, this one was on the method feeder. This water's absolutely full of food, even the mussels. These are done, these are emptied ones, but there's a couple of fresh ones there. There's so much food in this water, it's unbelievable. And these fish, really healthy for it. Oh, here we go. Lovely fish. That's what it's all about here. We'll get him back. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this Clinique just in that bottom lip where the hook hold was. I'm just gonna, just to save any fungal infection a little bit down the road. But look at that, gorgeous fish. Really, really nice. And we'll get these lines back in and see if we can get another one. Well, this This is fish number 3, Town Lake today. I screened off. We're on just fishing a couple of pieces of maize. When it pops up, it's over a bed of pellets, some pigeon seed, and it seems to be doing the job. I'm on a plateau. I found a plateau with a marker float and spotted a bunch of the mix out to it. And the plan's coming together nicely. Set a few traps and they've been sprung. It's great. You notice the setup. I'm just using a single bank stick with a lam and a hanger. Right, here we go. Let me get a brick out of it. A big old stick. Alright. This fella's been quite lively. Get him on the mat. Oh. About the same size again. High teens probably. Bit of weight to him. Okay, again just damping this fish down. Scoot him around. There we go. Again, probably low teens. Lucky. But healthy fish. This is the scale sling that we're going to use. Again, going to wet it down first. Get all the water out of it. The scales are already zeroed. I'm going to place him neatly in there. Oh. And zip the sides up so he doesn't come out. And this, then we can zip the other side up. And now we can safely weigh the fish. These are some electronic salter scales. I think I'm going to buy 16, 15. There we go, we're sorted. Nice thing about the sling too is you can also again release your fish like we did earlier directly from the sling. So now we're at the water. We can safely let the carp go. This is really revived. There she goes. It was a nice sight seeing them swim off, and hopefully we catch them again next year a little bit bigger, a few pounds bigger.
Yeah, this feels like a good fish. So we baited up, Wayne and I baited up here yesterday, and this thing hasn't come up yet. So that's a good fish from this lake. This feels nice. Probably a bionic 20 or something, but it's a carp, so it doesn't matter. Nice fish. I don't know what she's going to be. She's going to have to go. I might have to try and keep it. There she goes again. We're down in about 18 foot of water off the 10 foot shell. So, see if we'll get her in. And then we'll come in there. Got to be careful because I've got braid on the end here. So, got to be careful when I get her under the rod tip, the hook doesn't pull. If it does on camera, you'll see exactly what not to do. I'm actually going to get in here. Playing around with that for a bit actually. That kind of dropped back initially and then flowing here. Let's bring this fish over the net. So I've got some braid on the end here. Excellent stuff. Another town lake fish. This fish is pretty good. So much space. Been eating well. What we're going to do is pop the hook out here. Right in the bottom lip, where it's supposed to be. Comes out straight away. Nice clean hook hold. And then we'll take her out of here, put a bit of cleaning on her. See what she weighs. Beautiful town lake fish. Look at that. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much. So what we're going to do now, we've just got this fish on the bank, used a soft mesh net to bring her in, put her on the mat to unhook her. Now we're going to put her in a sling that we've zeroed to weigh her. So here's how we're going to do that. Pop her in there. We've zeroed the sling. We bring this up. I think we've got another run going on at 27.4. Excellent.
This is the excitement of Town Lake. Ain't done yet, it don't want to come up. These are a 3 pound test curve rod. You can see the arch this guy's putting in it. Still taking line. It's a little bit of a swirl there, which is encouraging. Just on the top of the shelf now. It's probably going to be a Bionicle 20. This is the first day. This is the first day of real sunshine we've had in a while. It's been overcast and drizzly. Couldn't make its mind up yesterday whether it was going to be warm or cold. Baited this area very thoroughly yesterday and left some bait in the water just before we left last night. Put some bait in the water, I should say. Also that lot this morning. Hopefully they'll get stuck in the mud. Couldn't ask for a better day, really. Notice this net on the end here, it's got a float. Saves the net sinking to the bottom. And another successful one, that's very cool. It's a method feeder. Pineapple boiling, a couple of pieces of fake cord, if you like, plastic cord, just to pop it up. So the hook, basically, I don't know if you can see that there, but we'll show you. Basically be sitting like that. Cat will come along, pick it up, spit it out. Here, baby. And that hook just gets stuck on the bottom line, just like that. Almost 99% of the time with this area. This is just why we have a soft mat. When the carp starts flopping about like that, it's not going to hurt himself. Or hurt himself. No, himself. It's a little lively. Try and get in. It's a good fish. Don't know the weight, I guess high teens, maybe a 20. We'll get him in the scales and find out. These aren't zero, but I know the sling's about 4 pounds weight. So 19 pounds and summit. Hey, scrape, maybe if we're lucky, scrape a 20. Fought well though, enjoyed it. That's what it's all about, eh?
So you just saw Wayne and I bring a couple of fish in. This is a typical town lake session. Wonderful fish, excellent fishing here. We're going to put this one back. We just weighed the fish, got some still shots. Put this one back, see it swim off. So here we go. Always make sure when the fish are going back that you've got the water going through the gills and they're ready to swim away and they're strong. You can see this lovely fish here, she's in really good condition. Beautiful scales. We'll just right her up this way. And then we go out. She's ready to go. Look at that. That's what it's all about right there. Excellent stuff. Come on. Another fish on off the edge of the island there. Second one of the day. This one's going quite well as well. Again, this is on a dynamite tiger nut pop-up. Seems to be working really well here. This is really making the line sing earlier. I can't tell in comparison to the last fish. It's staying down in the water, so I won't know for a bit. She's putting a good bend in this 3 3/4 pound test rod. So this is really what it's about. Wayne and I have been here for the last 2 days, and the weather patterns the first day was terrible. The pressure was going up and down, and the wind was coming in from all directions, being cold, then warm, then cold. And the fish just weren't on, and today really settled in. And I think we could be in for a good town lake session. Most of them are. I think she's going over that other line of mine there. Dave's in meetings today, and this fish has decided she don't want to come in. Yeah, Dave's in meetings today, so we're working out here on the bank. Feels like this was like a nice fish. She really loved it and took some line. The wind screams through this line. She still hasn't come up. We'll go under this rod here. I can see it now. Come on, babe. She's not going to be ready for a rock. Another nice fish. Oh yeah, a lovely town like fish. I don't think she's quite ready for the net yet. Oh, there we go. Another beautiful town lake fish. Honestly, don't get any better than this. This is excellent stuff. This is why we do this. Beautiful fish. Look at that. We get her on the bank. See what she weighs. Big belly on this fish, as you can see. So she's been eating well. Lovely orange, typical town lake colour tail that is. Beautiful orange tail. Let's turn around here and then we'll weigh her. pop her on the mat. Whoa. There we go. Move this out of the way. Get covered in carp slime. Lovely fish. I tell you, we just pour a little bit of water on her. Here we go. Typical town lake fish. Big fins, large tail. Obviously this one's been eaten heavily, as you can see from the stomach on it. So we're going to weigh her, take a couple of still shots and put her back. Right.
Wayne's striking his own fish with on the camera again. And we're in the same area between them two posts out there. It doesn't feel huge, but as you saw there, exactly the same happened. We're weighing Sean's fish and away went this one. So I think we're in for a busy day. Same rod, same position, method feeder. Pineapple boiling and a couple of pieces of fake corn just to pop it up because they're very buoyant. Going off into the shallows. Matt's to follow him in the water here. There he is, you can see. It's only about 3 foot of water out there. I think you can see him boiling. So, try and keep here it comes. Quite ready. Another good 20 though. Really couldn't ask for a better day. See that big old town lake tail on there, the big wrist. So powerful. Yeah, this is really the Colorado River dam in town. It's no bigger than 20, this one. Or maybe. Oh, and she's in the net. Whoa! And that's another good capture. That's a big fish. That's nice. I like it. Right. Look at the size of the paddles on this carp. Pectoral fins. We'll get her on the bank and we'll see what's up. Again, you can see how we nicked that just in the bottom lip, just the way this hair is designed to do. The carp suck everything in, blow out this hair, the boilie in the thing comes first and pricks him. Simple as that. And the bolt rig, the weight, in this case a method feeder, sinks the hook. That's the way it should work. And like I said, always in that bottom lip. And we'll get her unhooked, get scaled. I'll see, as easy as that, the way it should be. A little bit of clinic on there, keep my head out of the shadow. And this is just really a little antifungal, antiseptic stuff. That's a nice fish. No, yeah, that's a weighty fish. Ooh. It's all about. Oops, I'll try and get out of the shadow for you guys. How's that? That's cool, really cool. Alright, so we'll get a weight. It says 31. I know the sling is £1.9 ounce, so we're not quite got a 30 pounder. It's in 29 range. I'm happy. Can't beat that. Very happy. Alright. There's a town lake brace. Caught within a few minutes of each other. And you can tell we're knackered.
Tired, very tired.
Tired, yes, thank you. The correction. But
lovely town lake fish, so.
And
yeah, we're going to get these.
Nice guys.
Put them back. Excellent stuff.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, bud.
Right, I'm going to get this guy back now. Quick. Okay, so you saw the few fish we had earlier, 4, 2 for each of Sean, one after the other. This one's late afternoon, about 6:30. We had a quiet 2 or 3 hours there, but kept the bait going in and they're back in again, so there we go. Missed one a few minutes ago, I don't know how, but this one, screaming run. Yeah, this one feels good. solid, you know? No bumping. Just a solid weight. Make sure your arms tight. See out this way. Bottoms. See the bubbles? Try and bury his head in the bottom. Could be a good fish.
It's a good fish, mate.
Just solid, purposeful. Try not to do is let the line slide. Safely in the net. I've got to fess up. This late in the day we're just thinking about packing up. And the first thing that came to my mind is, oh, I've got to take a wet net home. Crazy. Okay, we've got her on the mat now. Just going to show you where the hook, again, every single fish today with this hair rig has been in the bottom lip, just to show you again. There she goes. Just a simple unhook. Put some Clinique on there just to make sure there's no fungal infection gets in there. Oh, come here, baby. That's a nice fish right there. I say we're just packing up. Let's get everything pretty much ready to go, and away she goes. Music to our ears. There we go. And we'll get her on the scale, get some stills done, and get her back in the water where she belongs. We've got, allowing for 1 pound 9 ounces for the sling, we've got just over 26 pounds. Lovely proportioned fish. Lovely proportion. Can't get that out, it's too late in the day.
Okay. And again.
Lovely proportioned fish, town lake fish. And we'll get her back in the water. There she is. There we go. That's a gorgeous fish, that is 10 right, look at the size of that. Shoulders in there.
Come.
Incredible session.